Good morning, everyone. KJ here. We are starting another day in the Lori Daybell trial. Uh, I have been informed by one of our subscribers on here, Pam Keith, that Justin Lum will not be there today. I don't know if perhaps he can only get a week's time out from Arizona or what, whether he'll be back or not. But I just want to be able to let all of y'all know that Justin will not be tweeting today, but we've got Nate, and so we'll do the best we can. Pam Keith, again, thank you for alerting me to that. Also, and I love all of y'all. Renee, CC Johnson, 67. You'll have to excuse me. I'm using my high-tech iPhone, so there might be some calls coming in that might disrupt things a moment, which, by the way, if for some reason I get thrown off here, I promise you I'll set the live stream back up again. Good morning, Jerry Harris. Good morning, Grammy B. Cosette Campbell, Chris Arnett, Faye Art, Liz Witt, SQ, Cell 82, Bryn Marshall. I hope everyone's having a good morning, whatever you may be doing, whether you're doing laundry, whether you're loading the dishwasher or running errands or just hanging out. I'm glad you're here today. We're going to go through another day. Nate Eaton says that we're back at Ada County Courthouse for day 11 of the Lori Daybell trial. Zulema Pastinis is back on the stand. John Thomas will continue cross-examination this morning. And then, of course, he posts a recap of Zulema's crazy testimony Friday. Also, just to let y'all know, this is a little bitty open channel. If you see anything in the comments that looks disturbing or anything, I highly recommend you report them to YouTube and block them. I apologize if you do see anything, but OKJ doesn't have. This isn't a show. This is me just showing up for the raise and to bring honor to the victims and the victims' family members. So if you do see something, please, for OKJ, just don't react. Report them to YouTube and block them. I would appreciate it. Or ignore them if you don't want to do any of the other stuff. But anyway, Dana, good morning, says Dana from California. Good morning, Stella F. Good morning, everyone. Also, just to let y'all know, I've been labeling these lives for every day that we've been in the courthouse. In other words, Nate Eaton says this is day 11, but that's including jury selection and all of that. So to keep it simple, because you know me, I'm a simple woman. I'm just going to keep going every day that we're in a trial. We'll just keep moving the numbers up, okay? Waiting in line to enter the courtroom, Zulema Pastinis just walked by with her attorney. Bailiff reminds everyone in the courtroom to not hold up their phones or they will be checked. Defense attorney Jim Archibald says he observed someone in the courtroom taking photos. The woman is escorted out to have her phone checked. So again, this situation with the cell phones, it seems like it's never ending. How you doing, Kale? Hi, Angel Donmeyer, Lily and Lee, Jen. Good morning, everybody. I hope y'all are ready for whatever comes our way. We do know that Zulema is still being cross-examined by Thomas. Lord only knows what he's going to ask of her, although we all pretty well have got it down packed that this guy sucks. I mean, I'm sorry. He's just not, there's so many missed opportunities. It's really incredible, really. Lori Daybell is here smiling, y'all, chatting with her attorneys. The bailiff gives instructions, tells observers no recordings or taking photos with phones. On a personal note from Nate, a kind person found me a seat pad that I'm using today, much more comfortable than the wooden bench. So Nate's going to get his little tush taken care of today, y'all. You know, those benches must be really hard to sit in. And I guess really the question we've been asking ever since this, all this pre-trial stuff and everything else, Lori's behavior, it's disgusting. Who in their right mind is going to be smiling and chatting, especially when the jurors are brought in? What these jurors must be thinking. If I was on trial for murdering my children, it would be devastating, especially if I wanted everybody to think that I was innocent. It just really is bad. Hello, Marilyn. Hi, Dire Bite PR. NF Mom says Lori must have enjoyed the 3-day weekend she had. Well, NF Mom, I don't know if Lori really had a 3-day weekend. She's sitting in a damn jail cell over there in Ada County. She can have her vegan meals all she wants. But the bottom line is after this case is adjudicated and she's sent off to prison, there ain't gonna be no limelight for Lolo anymore, okay? It's just not gonna happen. Old Lady Snoop says it's a crisp morning here in the PNW. Good morning from Vancouver, Washington. Stella F says Nate said last night that he had to see a psychotherapist over the weekend because he left his, maybe it's a psychotherapist, left his side and hands were hurting so bad from tweeting and typing. Yes, Nate Eaton and Justin Lum have done an incredible job thus far. It's a damn shame we don't have cameras in the courthouse. But let's just remember this, y'all. When in our lifetime will we ever have a trial brought to us this way? We go through the blow by blow, and then later on the audio's released. So in some ways, although we don't get to see the visual things, maybe someone will describe what Lori's doing, or the jurors, the looks on their faces. The bottom line is we've got to take what we got. Hello, just me. Hi, DP. Good morning, JoJo from Kokomo. KJ, are you going to stay around for Chud's trial? That's a question I cannot answer right now, JoJo from Kokomo, because number one, there isn't a trial date set for him yet. We don't know if they'll do that at the end of the year, or, Nate Eaton's talking about it might be next year. Kay and Larry Woodcock are here with other family members. Annie Cushing is also in the courtroom. Attorneys from defense and prosecution have been summoned by a bailiff to leave the courtroom. Assuming this is to meet with Judge Boyce. Daybell remains at her table shackled to the ground, y'all. This woman who thought she had all these dang superpowers, and she thought she just was so much better than everyone else. Well, I'll tell you what, she is better in terms of making sure her ass is nailed to the floor. So, I wouldn't put it past her to try to flee at this point, be honest with you. It is what it is. But again, Kay and Larry and their family are there. Annie Cushing is also in the courtroom. And again, y'all, I appreciate everyone being here. Remember, there's no mods on here. Please just do what you can to kind of overlook it. And if for some reason I get thrown off here, if I get phone calls, there might be an interruption briefly or whatever. OKJ's just using my Apple iPhone. So I appreciate everybody being patient with me because I wanted to go through this with all of the rays on here. I'm sitting on the far end of a bench by a large window behind Lori and her team. It's currently raining and snowing in Boise and is around 33 degrees. And I believe it was Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. You can find her channel on YouTube. She is the aunt of JJ Vallow, and her mother and father are Kay and Larry Woodcock, for those that do not know. She had brought up a while back that Lori hates cold weather. And, on top of it all, even in spring and summer when it does warm up, it's my understanding that jails and prisons have to keep it pretty cool in there so as to not pass, to make the germs. They say warm rooms will make the germs get worse and everything. So Lori, she's probably going to stay cold for the rest of her life. But then again, we all know Lori Daybell is as cold as ice. And she deserves everything that's coming to her. Hello, K-Tech. Attorneys have returned to the courtroom. Judge Boyce is on the bench. John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, is in the courtroom. So we're waiting on everything to get started, y'all. I had to send a quick message to my son who's trying to call me. It's not an emergency. I just let him know he needed to call Wayne. Yes, y'all, I'm just a mama out of Tennessee, following this case for over 2 years with the Rays on here. We all have our lives going on, and I'm so very grateful, and I feel very honored that you would take the time out of your life to be here today. We're waiting on things. Remember, Justin Lum is not going to be tweeting today, so things might slow down a bit if Nate Eaton's got to handle all the slack. So let's just do our best to just talk and see what we can do. Hello, Iffy Angel. NF Mom says, I wonder if John Pryor's charging Chad for all the time he spends in the courtroom. Oh, I'm sure he is. I am pretty sure he is. Jennifer Esslinger says, imagine never getting to sit on a beach in the sun with warm sand and the sound of the water nearby. Too bad Hori has her frozen heart. Hog wallow. Hog wallow. Now that's a new one. Didn't know that we have, I mean, I've heard of Lolo, remember the nickname? And by the way, I released that live stream last night to kind of recap things. There were 2 things that I left out. One was Lori telling people the reason she got rid of Bailey, the service dog, was because he was possessed with demons. That was a crock. And also, when Lori was telling everybody that Charles was in Texas trying to get professional help for his demon possession, basically she didn't want everyone to know that he was ready to damn dump her ass. So that's why she was telling everybody that. That's my opinion. Right, Grammy B? Hello, Harley62. How are you? We were we were given a treat, not a tweet, but a treat last night on the live stream. We had Kresha come on. I'm so glad she's doing good. I don't know if she's in the courtroom today, whether she's still visiting with Jen and Michelle. I'm missing her. I hope that she's doing okay. Julie says Justin will be back for the conclusion of the trial. Good morning, Elba Lopez. Good morning, Carrie Lynn. Yes, I did, Nana. And I posted it on the community wall. For those that don't know, on the community wall, it was Lori's cousin. And she basically was saying what Kresha's been saying all along. That's Kresha's vein of where she's wanting to go with this case. Okay, Jay, justice through understanding, personal responsibility, criminal law, and all of that. Everybody has their way of viewing through their own lens of everything. But just to let y'all know, Kresha's been right about so much. We are waiting for another tweet. Oh, this would be interesting. Maria P says, I think they'll play the video call between Summer and Lori when Summer's called to the stand. I wonder what was said to put this into evidence. Well, if you recall, Summer and Rob Wood, you remember that recording that slimy lawyer Garrett Smith had done? Which, by the way, that's Zulima's attorney. Also, he did this recording, and Rob Wood and Summer Shiflett were talking in it. You can look up the transcript word for word, or you can hear the recording. The bottom line is, as Summer said, that Lori was just out there basically saying that, and in Summer's view, it was Chad that had done this to Lori. I disagree. Lori was not so mentally ill that she couldn't know right from wrong. And, you know, we make a personal choice in our lives when we go and believe other people. And we rely on other people and we trust other people. And Lori trusted a serial killer because she herself turned into one. Defense and prosecution say they're ready to proceed. Boyce says, we're starting proceedings late this morning because we had a participant who was disruptive. After talking with counsel, I'm going to request the bailiff remove this person from the courtroom based on their conduct. Now, I wonder what that's all about, y'all. Is this about the person taking pictures, or is this someone else that was acting wild, or what? This is the first time Boyce has removed anyone from the courtroom. This is the same person who Archibald says was holding up her phone to take photos before proceedings began. So I guess it is what it is. I don't imagine this person is part of the news media, but even if they were, they're not allowed to do that in there. Well, thank you, Saltina Wincheto, excuse me. I didn't see the O behind the little arrow there. I don't think the Chin's lawyers should be able to be in that courtroom. And Alley Cat, the bottom line is legally he can be. It's very interesting, is it not, that he's been belly aching and whining for the last 2 years, that he has all this voluminous discovery to go over, and yet there he is, taking the time out of his busy life there as Chad's attorney. And make no mistake, y'all, Archie and Thomas, they know John Pryor. They're all they've been talking. There's no doubt about it. And John Pryor is going back and telling Chad whatever he's telling him. He's going to let Chad Daybell know what's going on. Hey, Willie Williams. Hello, Jet Set J. I think that's how you say it. Jet Set J. I wonder what witnesses we'll see this week. It should be interesting. Well, Jet Set J, we've gotten word that Summer Shiflett was in town. We also have gotten word, and I'm not confirming this. This is just what everyone's saying, that Kobe Ryan is there as well. Remember, there were 2 exhibits that were already entered into evidence, and we were like, well, hell, they're not playing them or anything, but they're going to enter them. I guess they have to have them authenticated through Summer Shiflett and Kobe Ryan, but that still doesn't explain to me why they didn't show the body cam of anything. Okay, Zulema is back on the stand wearing a white skirt, white jacket, and white heels. Jury has been brought into the courtroom, y'all, so we're about to get ready. Thank y'all so much for being patient as we do this blow by blow. Again, Justin Lum is not here, so we're only going to be hearing from Nate Eaton, okay? Oh, is that who it was? Was it really? Was it Lori Ellis that got removed out of the courtroom? Oh, isn't that interesting, y'all? You know, she's got to get all this for her book, don't you know? She went and messed with all of the, she filed a bunch of stuff. She wrote the Supreme Court saying that this was all corrupt and all that. She wanted all this stuff unsealed, and She even alluded that Judge Boyce was not doing his job and all this other stuff. Very interesting if that was Lori Hellis. Isn't that interesting, y'all? Hello, Adair. Hello, Teresa Dubin. John Thomas is conducting cross-examination on Zulema. He asked her if she spoke with anyone from the prosecution over the weekend. She says she did not. Thomas begins questioning her about her relationship with Alex Cox. And Barbara Meir says Kobe is in town. Again, I try to trust everything y'all tell me, but again, I have to always say first of all, I'm not a journalist. I'm not a news reporter. This isn't the 5 o'clock news. So if there's ever something that's said, I'll take your word for it, but don't take it as a confirmation, if that makes sense. Because I wouldn't want to mislead anyone. I've had people in the past say I've misled them, and I don't appreciate that from certain people. John Thomas he's conducting this cross-examination. We're waiting on what he's already asking questions about Zulema and Alex Cox. The bottom line is, as they went off to Las Vegas, y'all remember this, and they went in there and they got married very quickly, and it was a day later that Lori's niece, Melanie Pulowski, and Ian got married. It's very interesting, is it not? Everyone's rushing to get married. It must be the end of the world, huh? But anyway, this whole ordeal and Zulema's interview with police, talking about she thought maybe Alex Cox was trying to kill her because he was trying to give her a massage on the bed and all this jazz. It's ridiculous, really. And many of y'all pointed this out, which I think is rather brilliant. And that is that she's trying to make the police believe she's on their side by saying stuff like that. Zulema says her first day with Alex was in August of 2019. They dated a few times until their first kiss on October the 31st of 2019. And let's just take that in perspective, y'all. It was October 31st that Alex Cox was helping his Lori's niece, Melanie Pulowski, moved to Rexburg to move in next door. It was October 31st, Halloween night. Melanie P. packed all her crap up. She tried to tell everybody that, I just needed a change of pace. This really didn't have nothing to do with being right next door to my Aunt Lori. Y'all, it's just clear as crystal. They frequently spoke on the phone about scriptures, talks they had read, their families, getting to know each other, Zulema says. Is that true, Barbara Meyer, that Nate Eaton said that Kobe's in town? Oh, hello, daughter of Scotland. How are you? Well, if Nate said it, I believe it. Thomas asked what happened during the week of October 31st and November 7th. Now, let's keep this in mind, y'all. October the 31st to November the 7th. Now, November 7th, 2 days after Chad and Lori on the beach, yucking it up, getting married, the damn ukulele, all that crap. Zulema says she was in Arizona and Alex was in Rexburg. Alex proposed to her on November the 7th in Rexburg when she says she came to visit him in Rexburg. So there you go. Alex proposed to Zulema on November 7th, and we know that they got married on, I believe, November the 28th. But 2 days after Chad and Lori are getting married, I guess they got the married bug there. They seen their king and queen getting married. This union of the 144,000's king and queen. Let's all get married. Chad and Lori's pushed us all together anyway. Alex was very clear that he was looking for a relationship and he wanted to get married. Zulema says the first time they went to dinner, Alex told her he wanted to get married and have a relationship. Zulema says she doesn't remember if she had a reaction to what he was sharing with her. When he proposed on November 7th, Zulema says she was not surprised. Zulema says he had told me he was looking for a ring and asking for my ring size. I was not completely surprised that it happened on that day. Excuse me, y'all. I'm not surprised that it happened on that day. And I mean, these people, they do everything according to, whatever, this whole thing of Melanie Gibbs saying that her and David Warwick got married of 12/12 of, I believe, 2020. But she was saying that people were going around saying that was the date of Alex's death. I mean, that's not a coincidence to me. I really think these people want any kind of symbolism, any kind of significance that they can attach to it to make themselves look special and divine, and their crap don't stink and all that. Give me a break. Zulema went home to Arizona and didn't physically see Alex again until Thanksgiving. He returned to Arizona on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and stayed with Zulema the entire time. Now, let's see, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we do know the day of the welfare check, which was 2 days before Thanksgiving, that a neighbor of Lori's saw Alex and Lori throwing stuff in the back of Alex's truck after the police had left the day of the welfare check on November the 26th. So I'm trying to put the pieces together here. So obviously he had to have returned from Arizona to be there for Lori when that welfare check, obviously he was there because the police, they testified, and we know it's on the record, that when they pulled up, Chad and Alex was in the garage area behind the apartment. Y'all remember Wayne and I went to Idaho to the exact apartment complex on Pioneer Road to Lori's exact apartment, and we looked at the layout of it. The garage door was open, and Chad and Alex were unloading stuff, which we now know to be guns and knives and things that Alex Cox had, into Lori's garage. The police asked, where JJ was, and we know the whole story from there. Thomas asked Zulema about the day they got married. And she says, I wish I could tell you I know exactly the date, but there has been so much trauma around that date and all of the events that happened around that time that it's very hard for me to remember, especially for things I'd like to forget, says Zulema. She wants to forget them. You know why she wants to forget them? Because she was involved in all this shit. That's why she wants to forget about it. And I've got an ex-husband, and I remember when I married him and everything, and how she's saying she's having a problem. I mean, remembering the day. I mean, she can absolutely look these dates up before going on the stand if she's got a problem with that. And is this her way of trying to let the jurors know that, this was all just one big mistake? She should have never married Alex. Well, I think the jurors are going to get an earful about all the things Zulema was involved in and all of this. In fact, as I stated before, Melanie Gibb, we knew she was going to act uppity about all this in her testimony. She was going to act like she really didn't believe any of it or anything like that. At least Zulema was honest enough to say she did believe it. She was being basically groomed. She didn't say that, but you can see it for what it is. She wanted to believe it, and she did believe it. She got her revelation or her testimony. Remember that? When her and Melanie Gibb got into it, and Melanie Gibb tried to talk to Zulema after all this went down and Chad and Lori left. The bottom line is she said, I'll get my revelation or whatever. And the very next day, she told Melanie Gibb on the phone, this is according to Melanie Gibb's police interview. Not that I believe everything that Melanie Gibb says, but if she says there's a text message where Zulema says that, they got to have record of it, right? Thomas asked Zulema about the traumatic events Zulema witnessed. She starts to cry and said, I went to work early December 12th and Alex was fine. And when I came home, Alex was laying on the floor on my bathroom, dead. And then the paramedics came and started working on him. And then they took him to the emergency room and they worked on him for about an hour. And they brought me back in the room where he was connected to machines. And he was, in my opinion, Chad and Lori's instrument of murder. I'll never, ever back off of that unless they can show me something else. He got everything he deserved, basically. And again, y'all know I can't prove it, but I believe Alex went down to Mexico and got something down there and brought it back that they cannot, unless they know what it is on a toxicology report. I think it's the same stuff they did to Tammy. Although, they're saying it was asphyxiation, I still believe to this day that this pink foam thing can't just be from asphyxiation. I think it has to do with more than that. They were doing CPR on him, and then after many efforts to revive him, I had to give the okay to have the machines turned off. That is very traumatic, sir, says Zulema. Well, I'll tell you what, Zulema. It might have been very traumatic to see Alex croak, but I believe Zulema really knew the deal. I do. I believe all these cult members knew the deal. I think Melanie Pulaski knew. I know Melanie Gibb and David Warwick knew. That's just the way I feel about it. Yeah, dodging bullets, you're right. They all want to forget that it happened. Good morning, Okie Dokie. And I guess really the question is, are they still members of their church? I hope they're getting some kind of counseling if they are. Surely, we went over that, a year and a half ago. The steps that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints can take outside of excommunication, or at least they don't use that term anymore, but making someone leave the church. There are other avenues that they can take to get them help and all of this. It's stunning to me. It's very stunning to me that if they would be still in the church. Thomas says to Zulema, how is it you knew him August to December and you spent very little time with him? Maybe it's possible you didn't know him that well and he wouldn't do anything for Lori. And Zulema says, I disagree with that. Whenever he wanted to do anything, he had to have Lori or Chad's permission, says Zulema. She relates a blessing Alex received from Chad where Chad told him he would be a warrior. The following day, Alex got on a plane with Chad to check Rexburg out. After we got married, I told him I would not be moving to Rexburg. My family, my life was in Arizona. He was living in Rexburg, so we were discussing what we were going to do, and he said, well, before I make any decisions, I need to ask Chad and Lori what I should do. These people couldn't, they had to have somebody tell them what to do. What they do is Chad and them, they lift you up, make you feel like you're all this and a box of crackers. They basically tear down your identity and build you up. Not that any of these cult members really had much of an identity before Chad and Lori got a hold of them. The defense hands Zulema two exhibits. She identifies them as text messages between Chad and her. The other text message is one between Zulema and Lori. And you can be sure we're fixing to find out what those are, hopefully, I think. It's going to show that Zulema was totally 100% on board. As y'all recall, there was a time when they first started forming it, when they met at Firebirds, that they told Zulema, don't say anything to Melanie Gibb, because what we're going to tell you, because they had already sized up that Zulema was going to be easier to indoctrinate. And they wasn't really 100% sure about Melanie Gibb. They wanted to take a different tack with her. These are just my theories, my views. Interesting, y'all. The two exhibits showing text messages were admitted in the grand jury proceedings, according to Thomas. Now, remember, the grand jury met to indict Chad and Lori in, all those charges. We never really ever got much of what, in fact, I don't remember anyone ever really coming out and saying what was said in the grand jury. The only thing we knew was that the grand jury transcript was ordered by Judge Boyce to be given to both defense teams. So Thomas is using something that was used at the grand jury to these text messages. So we're fixing to find out, y'all. We're fixing to find out what was said in that grand jury. Hello, Liza Joe. Hello, Language of Horses. Hello. Oh, come on. Hello, RDNAC. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm not very good at this, and I'm using my phone. Hello, Jessica K. Waiting on another tweet from Nate. Justin's not here today. All right, y'all. Zulema is reading a text message she sent to Chad Daybell saying she was not ready to move to Rexburg, mainly because of her daughter. Chad responded that he understood and maybe it would happen eventually. I'm kind of shocked about that. But then again, I think after Alex did all the dirty work for Chad and Lori, they were trying to get Alex to go off with Zulema anyway. So, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Chad would have wanted her to be in Rexburg. He would have said something to the effect of, I've seen beyond the veil. You've got to come to Rexburg, Zulema, or all hell's going to break loose, or some crazy stuff like that. You're right, dodging bullets. Zulema is guilty as the rest. She knew what was going on. And Pam Collins wants everyone to know that she has crop dusted her dog. Hi, Tracy. Mazantinta. Y'all, I'm not good at this. Wilted Lettuce says, I bet they all were there when they died. I'll bet they were all in a circle. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. I know they knew. I think they all knew. Maybe not Ian, because he came in late, but the rest of them sure did. And I'll even go so far as these casting witches, they had to know as soon as the children disappeared and all that, that something, they didn't get involved in any of this until they were forced to be involved. Excuse me. And by the way, y'all, I've got allergies. So if my voice sounds off, or I cough, or I sneeze, please forgive me. It's just the way it is. Well, Zulema says during this time, Chad was repeatedly telling her to move to Rexburg. He gave her blessings, telling her to move to Rexburg. Lori and Chad kept pushing her to move to Rexburg. So that answers that question. I really trusted these people. Chad said he had a veil and he could see to the other side. Wow, y'all, I didn't even know that. He said he was constantly being guided by angels. Lori said she had conversations with Jesus Christ. I trusted them. It was very hard, and I was confused. Zulema says she started to pray for guidance. Zulema says during one prayer, she says she got her answer from God and said, "You will go to Rexburg eventually, but not right now." Don't y'all find that interesting? These people, they're supposed to be getting these personal revelations and all this and that. And the reason I bring this up is because it seems to me that Chad and Lori and Alex, their personal revelations had nothing good in them at all. It was all evil, diabolical stuff. Just as Chad was telling, he could have told Zulema she was anything in her past life. But he wanted to tell her she was a 14-year-old girl in her past life who got raped, murdered, and chopped up and dismembered, and that Lori was her mother also back in this other life, and that Lori herself got murdered. Folks, doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out Chad wanted Lori and Zulema to bond. And y'all heard the silliness of their text message. Get him, Zulema, get him. Thomas says, yes or no? Did you pray about it? Zulema says, yes. Thomas says, and yes or no? The Lord told you eventually that you would go to Rexburg? And she says, yes. Then adds that Chad and Lori were pushing her to move to Rexburg in every blessing that they gave me. So here you go, y'all. It's called thought reform, i.e. brainwashing. Although when you do all that to these weak-minded people that are fertile for it, it's just continually, over and over again. Every time Chad and Lori were blessing Zulema, every blessing they're saying, you need to come to Rexburg. You need to come to Rexburg. Dodging Bullet makes a great point. What? God didn't give Zulema an exact date? Don't y'all find that interesting? They either had revelations about stuff they wanted to do. Whatever it was, the goal being, in my opinion, as Lindsay Blake states, power, money, and sex. There was lots of avenues to get to that, not as equal to the devastation of these murders, and yet they chose the most extreme of everything. And as long as they could continue to make this crap up, they were on a roll. Zulema reads another text message she sent Chad saying she feels better about things. Thomas asked her to read another text. I have a couple of questions for you. Do I have a calling and election made sure? Will I have a calling and election made sure? Do I have a second comforter? And how I will know when and how to the temple when the call out happens. This was sent January the 24th of 2019. So Zulema's asking these questions. Don't y'all find it interesting that if these people think they can get a freaking revelation from God Almighty, what the hell? Why are they asking him? Why can't they ask God? It's stupid. It's so damn stupid. Do I have a calling and election made sure? Does she not know this herself? Does she not know it? Will I have a calling and election made sure? Do I have a second comforter? Well, I'll tell y'all what, there are a lot of belief systems in this world. I can only see this through my own eyes. There is one comforter, and that is the Holy Spirit. That's in my life. Now, maybe these people think there are 587,423 second comforters or third comforters or whatever. The bottom line is she doesn't know anything about her own spiritual life. She's got to leave it in the hands to ask this fat ass chin about her own spirituality on January 24th of 2019. Give me a break. Zulema reads another text message about her having a yearning to only go to the temple and leave the world behind. Meanwhile, a person's cell phone in the gallery has gone off and the bailiff has taken it away. I wouldn't be surprised if Lori's sitting at the defense table and Zulema's up on the stand going, oh, that's a sign. Someone's phone went off. It must be the people on the other side of the veil letting us know. Give me a break. Leave the world behind. They left the world behind by the whole reality of law and order and all of these things to murder these people and believe this crazy stuff. Again, I want to make it clear to y'all, there are different beliefs in this world, but in this case, it led to murder. So if anyone wants to say that I am making fun of people's beliefs and all this and that, let me just be clear. My beliefs, people make fun of me too. Everyone's going to make fun of something they don't know nothing about. The bottom line is we're seeing this unfolded out in front of us, that this particular belief system, in my opinion, is cultish, and it led to murder. That's a fact. So I will say whatever I want to say about it. Zulema reads a message Chad sent her saying her calling and election was made sure. He tells her she will be among the most righteous and in the first group of gatherers, y'all. Y'all remember that? Zulema responds to Chad saying the Lord has spoken to her directly and told her that he has made you mine. You know what, y'all? I'm just looking at this when they talk about the Lord has answered them and this and that. There's only a couple of things that it could be, because it sure wasn't. It was not God Almighty that done this. It has to be either their own deluded mind, some kind of mental illness there where they're seeing delusions, or they just, the mind is a very, it will trick you. And your own mind can do these things. That's the only thing I can come up with, because it sure wasn't from God Almighty. Just as has been said in the past, I don't know what Jesus Christ they're speaking of, because it sure isn't the real Jesus Christ or God Almighty. I don't know. Maybe they're on a different level and a different, plane of existence in their freaked out minds, and Satan's got them all messed up. And if Satan doesn't, they've got themselves tricked into believing this stuff. Thomas asked Zulema about an incident in December of 2018 when she texted Chad for a blessing. She reads the message that says, I think I'm being attacked again. Oh, well. These people, they're sick. Zulema says Lori and Chad always taught that when you have any kind of physical pain or any emotional suffering, it was an attack from the dark side and evil spirits coming after your body and emotions. Zulema says she believed that. Well, I'm 52 years old, and I get my aches and pains and all this and that. I think it's called your physical body going through changes. I guess they have to put a label on whatever it is. It's got to all kind of tie into to their belief system, everything. I guess this has also to do with this energy work crap. You know, the bottom line is we're listening to stuff that is, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to dog people out, but the bottom line is this is a crock of shit. This isn't real beliefs. This is something made up. This is something made up. Zulema says she felt the adversary was attacking her back. Chad responded, "Hi, Zulema. I have captured and removed the evil spirits that were attacking you. I have removed the weapons and am healing the damage." Does that sound like the placebo effect that she was looking for? Thomas asked, "Do you think that actually worked, or was this hocus pocus?" And Zulema responds that Chad often did energy work, and there were times she actually felt better afterwards. She doesn't recall if she felt better after this specific incident. You know, do y'all notice that when she has to come down to the line on it and really give an answer, she doesn't recall? Give me a break. You would recall whether you felt better after someone said they'd done this hocus pocus crap, right? You would know. That'd be something would be an indicator, a proof of your faith. And for her to say she doesn't recall, that is not reality. And let's just put into focus about Chad Daybell doing energy work. Number one, what in the hell was he doing? Energy work on Julie Rowe by themselves, when Julie Rowe says that he basically tried to put the moves on her and then he started crying and all this other stuff. Of course he was going to cry after doing that. She got in a room with him alone. What was he supposed to think? He's a horn dog. And when she didn't put out, that made him cry. Because men are like that. They get this in their mind that they're going to come, they're going to get you and do all this stuff. And then when it doesn't happen and you're turned down, a man has to deal with the blue balls. Okay? I said it. CHP, Big Chin, Chad, Daybell. Thomas asked Zulema to read a message she sent to Chad after he said the evil was removed. She told him she felt better and could move her shoulder again. And again, y'all, she just said a minute ago she doesn't recall if she felt better, but Thomas is confirming that Zulema felt like that Chad had healed her or whatever. She told Chad she felt better and could move her shoulder again. Zulema says she felt she was doing honorable good work at the time, but now realizes the intentions of Chad and Lori were very evil. Those things they were saying were evil and manipulative, says Zulema. Well, does that include all the things Zulema was saying? Zulema was saying evil things as well. It's all on the text messages. It's interesting, the hypocrisy in these cult members. Wouldn't y'all agree? Oh, is Kresha in here? Kresha, did you get a chance to see Lori's cousin on YouTube, the interviewed by Justin Lum? She basically echoed what you've been saying a long time. Little Lady Di says, right? And Zuzu was chanting mess too. Y'all, this woman was just as guilty as Chad and Lori in believing this crap. Everybody, Kresha K. Easton's in here. And for those who don't know who that is, she has a channel on YouTube, Difficult Research. She's the aunt of JJ Vallow. Zuzu said that in the FOIA docs via text messages that JJ wouldn't live a long life. So there you go, y'all. Zulema, I don't care if Chad or Lori told Zulema this. If she believed everything they said, then how could it be, something that couldn't happen, that she believed them so much that she knew that JJ and Tylee were murdered? I believe it. I believe it. And there ain't no way you gonna marry someone as twisted as Alex Cox and not know what really is going on. Zulema was closer to Chad and Lori than Melanie Gibb was, in my opinion. Zulema reads another text message about light fire. Thomas asks what that means, and Zulema says, it's like imagining in your mind a light aura and fire to put around somebody's wound to help them heal. She recalls using light fire for good during the castings and for the healing purposes. Yeah, that's why it was Zulema and them talking about Tammy Daybell was a warden, like a warden in a prison, and how Zulema just absolutely, she was a voodoo woman as far as I'm concerned. You can be sure of it, y'all. Make no mistake. These jurors have surely they've got to understand this. Yep. Difficult research. Says, a mom sent that interview over to me and said what you just said about it echoing what I've been saying all along. I mean, Gresha, you've been right about a lot of things, and people need to wake up and understand. Thomas asks Zulema if she has a portal in her home, and Zulema says no. He asks if she had ever had a portal in her home, and she says, no, sir. And Thomas asks Zulema to read another text she sent to Chad on April 8th of 2019. Y'all, Zulema sent Chad a text message on April 8th of 2019. April 8th is my birthday. Part of it says, I would love that. I want to see if you help me create a portal at home to get answers. Zulema says she doesn't recall this conversation. Y'all, this is so disingenuous. These people, they're not going to come clean unless they are faced with the empirical evidence. Again, Zulema is asked about whether she ever wanted a portal, and she says she didn't recall, and now they're reading it. I would love that, says Zulema. I want to see if you can help me create a portal at home to get answers. Give me a break. Give me a break. Well, I'll tell y'all something. Chad and Lori, obviously, they're going to have to create their invisible portal inside their prison cells for the rest of their life. Thomas asks about casting the demon Garrett out of Charles. While the ceremony took place, Zulema says she was unsure if the evil spirit ever left Charles because Lori always had to check with Chad to see if the spirit had actually left. Zulema says we would get confirmation from Chad. These people are sick. RDNA says, I wonder where Z's portal potty is. Okie dokie says Zulema's like, oh, did I lie? I mean, I don't recall. Y'all understand this. Y'all got it. Why'd they all need to move to Rexburg when they all had portals, said Rachel Molding. Well, Rachel, part of the old slogan of KJ and the Ray is that common sense that you have demonstrated in your question there. The bottom line is Chad wanted them all. That's what cults do. They get together. And make no mistake, y'all. Chad and Lori would have never felt powerful or gone forward with anything without these people lifting them up and saying, we believe you, Chad and Lori. I had faith they were telling us the truth, Zulema says when asked if the castings were successful. I personally did not have confirmation whether those evil spirits or demons were cast out. I just trusted and believed what Lori and Chad were saying. Again, y'all, if these people believe they get personal revelation, when did that go from that to asking questions to these people about your own personal spiritual life, or whether any of this was true or not, or wanting to create portals for her and her house and all that? When did this all switch over? It's when, as Rick Ross of the Cult Institute makes quite clear, they build you up by tearing you down. They make you feel special. And then you become totally dependent on them for everything. And if Zulema says that I personally did not get confirmation whether those were evil spirits or demons that were cast out, if she didn't get that, I mean, what is this saying about her own belief system? Because if her foundation is as part of that you get your own personal revelation, and then she says, I never did get confirmation, then why would she go on to believe them? She can say, oh, I just trusted them, but that doesn't answer the question. It's almost like saying, well, yes, I believe you can get your own personal revelation. I didn't feel like or spiritually feel like I got that, but I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to replace that with Chad and Lori's take on it all. Lollipop Guild says, wasn't Zuzu trying to make earthquakes to make the jails where Chad and Lori so that the crumbles so they could escape? Oh, that's good. T.S. Jackson 72 says Zulema is full of bull hockey. How you doing, Goodwill Squatter? Private 91 says wrong about what? I'd say all of them were wrong about everything they ever did. I don't know if that's something you're asking someone else. I remember when people refused to tithe directly to Mormonism. Woo, we're making our way through, y'all. Says Krisha K of Difficult Research. How come the world didn't end yet, Chadzilla, says RDNAC. Harriet Crackle says, doesn't everyone have a portal? And Private 91 says, yes. Well, I don't know about portal, but we got this channel open so that we can get blow by blow on this. Hello, Dora Opinion. Still Motivated Wolf. These are all suckers of deception. Y'all were pretty blessed to have Chris K. Easton in here. Now listen up, y'all. Zulema says she was in the temple the day Charles died. She reads a text message saying she was working on Hiplos, and Hiplos was the evil spirit that inhabited Charles. Give me a break. While in the temple, she was told that he will be taken the way he is, and this was on 7/11. I hope today is a good day for all of this to end, says Zulema. Make no mistake, y'all, Zulema was actively trying to ag on and do everything she could to promote the murders of all of them. The bottom line is when Alex murdered Charles Vallow, and we're not sure if maybe Lori shot him too, we'll never know. But the bottom line is he was ambushed and murdered. Chad and Lori could go back to their cult members and say, see, He was on his way out, just like we said. Zulema says Lori was supposed to be at the temple. And Lori was supposed to be there working on Hiplos that day, but Lori didn't show up. And of course Lori didn't show up to the temple. She's too busy laying in wait for Charles Vallow to show up. Charles Vallow went to pick up JJ for school. She knew he was coming. She probably set his mind at ease that everything was going to be okay. Of course, you know Adam Cox kind of warned Charles Vallow. I still don't appreciate Adam Cox just leaving, and next thing you know, he's hearing about it on the news. The bottom line is Lori wouldn't be in the temple. She had to make it happen. Her and Alex, they wanted that money, don't you know? And for those new on here, make no mistake, Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research, Charles Vallow was her uncle. Larry and Kay Woodcock are her mother and father. And JJ, she was the aunt of JJ Vallow. And she is their voice. Pure and simple. She is their voice. The jurors are very attentive today, and many are taking notes. One juror, a man, seems to be noting everything being said. Lori is also taking notes directly across from the juror box. And Cresha's been in the courtroom, and she says the jurors have been this way every day. Y'all are getting firsthand knowledge from someone who's been actually sitting in the courtroom. She's letting us all know, just as Nate is letting us know, that the jurors are attentive, and they've been that way every day since the trial started. Kate Sullivan Studios says she's pretending to take notes. Amy Cole-Ater is Lori's mother in attendance. Nate Eaton has mentioned Kay and Larry and some of their extended family, along with Annie Cushion. And trust me when I say, if a Summer or Janice or Kobe were in that courtroom, he would have tweeted that out. So I'm just going to take it that she's not in there. Kathy Benia says Zulema believed in this stuff before she met Chad and Lori. Now she's acting like a naive victim. Good point, Kathy Benia. These people were absolutely knee-deep in all this crap with these preppers, Julie Rowe, Mike Shroud, all of this stuff. They were listening to it over and over and over again. So when they met up with Chad and Lori, just as Lori's cousin, who just came out in that interview, said, the bottom line is they were all ready to go. It was a perfect storm of destruction. Thomas asked Zulema about a powerful spiritual experience she had in the temple where she saw Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, Jesus, and her eternal Father. Zulema says she doesn't recall that day. Do y'all notice this? Do y'all notice that every time Thomas asks her a question about this, she says she doesn't recall, and then he turns around and says, well, here it is. Thomas says, you saw Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, and Jesus, and you don't remember what happened? And Zulema thinks for a good 60 seconds and starts to talk before Thomas says, I'll withdraw the question, Your Honor. No further questions. And y'all, honestly, for him to have went down this line of questioning, and each time she says she doesn't recall, You know the jurors are probably going to ask that question to themselves when she was on direct examination. Whenever she said, I forgot or I don't recall, they can also look back about Melanie Gibb, who says, I don't recall. And now Thomas has made it very well known, it's right there in their face, that every time he asks her something, she's not going to confess to it unless he shows her that she's busted, basically. And this is exactly what these cult members have done the entire time through their police interviews and all of that. Thomas is done questioning. Now Rachel Smith with the prosecution is asking follow-up questions. And this is T.S. Jackson 72 says, I don't care for Thomas. He needs to keep pushing. And this is why it's not that I can only speak for myself, but that's a good point. The bottom line is they do need to push Zulema for these answers. Just by their questions, we're learning stuff. I didn't know that, and he wouldn't have said this unless he's got proof of it, that she, was waiting at the temple, that Lori was supposed to be there and all of that. That's why I want to know more. And y'all know the state is not really going to ask so many questions, delving in too deeply in it. Thomas is going to be the one that we're going to find out this stuff. It isn't about, Thomas has done a great job showing that Zulema and Melanie Gibb are cult members and they can't be trusted and they're not credible. Folks, I want Lori convicted. I just want to find out all I can about the inner workings of this crazy ass stuff that they did. I want to know about it. Saltina says, how sad that Summer is Tylee's representative. Poor Tylee was so saying to her mom, the effing victims deserve their stories to be told. It's going to hurt many others for this to come to light. It sucks. It's a double-edged sword, but it must be done, says Krisha K. Easton of Difficult Research. Rachel Smith asked Zulema to clarify text messages and communication between Lori and Zulema. Lori often called Zulema a goddess and praised her ability to control the elements, y'all. Wonder Twin powers activate. Shape of a volcano. Form of a tidal wave. She said that I was very special and my mission was the most important one. They were always looking out for me because my mission was the most important one, says Zulema. And y'all know what that equals into. They wanted her to believe all that because they needed her. They needed her not only to be the communications director of the cult, they needed her to believe this stuff. And if anyone thinks that Zulema didn't know about the acts that were done to Charles Vallow, the kids, Tammy Daybell, and even the attempt on Brandon Boudreaux's life, you got another thing coming. They trusted Zulema a lot. She was in the middle of all this as well. And let's keep in mind, I don't give a damn how much Zulema says. I just really think the best of people, and I just really wanted to believe them and all this. She can give all the excuses in the world, but there were so many things that were illegally done. She should have walked away. I mean, we obviously we're not going to get any of these cult members to step back and call the police or something. Chad calls Zulema, y'all listen to this. Chad calls Zulema the goddess of the earth and said she had a special mission to fulfill that he identified just for her. Now, isn't that sweet, y'all? She is the goddess of Mother Earth. Chad and Lori repeatedly told Zulema how special she was and how special her powers were. It made me feel very good and really special. I started to really believe it, says Zulema. Yeah, I'm sure Zulema and Lori would go through those phone text castings together trying to get rid of Charles. They probably both were orgasmic about the whole thing. Oh, Zulema. Oh, yeah, I love you so much, Zulema. And then Zulema says, oh, we've done all that. I'm so tired. It's almost like they just got through having sex. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. Oh, wow, y'all. I'm going on Cuomo. I have a full interview. Oh, wow, Crescia. I'd have a full interview with the Sun on Friday. I pitched this to Justin. He didn't register it. I don't say it as eloquent as Lori's cousin or Heather. Honey, I'm so proud of you. That's a big step. That shows courage. And I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Crescia. Please don't forget to pray about it before you do it. Please, I'm asking you. I'm gonna be praying for you, and the Rays on here are as well. I am so excited for you, Crescia. Wow. That's awesome. Zulema says Chad and Lori made others feel special and powerful, including Alex. They told Alex he was the angel who had come to Saul before he became Paul, and he was the one who spoke to him and made him blind so he would mend his ways to become a follower of Jesus Christ. They also told him he had been an angel before, and he was an angel that had appeared to Joseph Smith. They told him he had been exalted in other creations with his wife Holly, and he had been a very powerful warrior. Isn't that? Y'all, that is so laughable. He had unmasked Satan in another creation, and that is the reason why Satan had so much animosity toward Alex. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. Don't y'all find it interesting that they talk about their other lives and everything, and they sprinkle it here and there, as Crescia K. Easton talks about. They hide behind that name, Jesus Christ. They don't know who he is. Trust me, I am telling y'all, I will go down saying this as long as I live, from the acts and the things and all of it. There is no way they ever knew Jesus Christ. And the whole bottom line is you notice that they're always talking about what they did. They're glorifying themselves. Only Jesus Christ needs glorification, not these lowercase g wannabes. It's a disgrace. Really, it is. Zulema says Alex quit his job and moved to Rexburg after Chad and Lori told him to do so. He left behind his belongings in Arizona. Chad and Lori told him the only reason he came to Earth at this time, his sole purpose, was to protect Lori. Well, that must have not been too hard for Alex Cox to accept, because he'd been up his sister's ass all her life. He used a stun gun on Joseph Ryan and went to jail for Lori. He'd done all kinds of things. Every time Lori had problems, he was there every time for Lori. So this was something that I'm sure Alex, as long as he could stay close to his sister, he was fine and dandy with it. It was all about, Chad and Lori's like, let's tell them these things that's really going to wow their socks off. It's going to be something that's going to stroke their egos. It's going to make them feel good. It's going to make them feel powerful, like they've actually got purpose. No wonder Melanie Gibb was so easily sucked in. She wanted to be special. She wanted to have purpose. Then you think about Melanie Pulaski, which I'm assuming we'll hear about her and what Chad and Lori thought about her. The only thing I remember is that Melanie Pulaski in the castings had malachite stones. Give me a break. Zulema has repeatedly said that Alex believed everything Chad and Lori told him. Rachel Smith has no further questions for Zulema, and she steps down from the stand. So, Zulema and Melanie Gibb, they relatively got off the stand unscathed. We do know that Zulema and Melanie Gibb are listed in the rebuttal case for the state to shoot down Lori's alibi. So we'll probably be hearing testimony at the end of this case in the rebuttal case. But I know that y'all, all the Rays on here, along with you, Krisha, there was so many things that were missed that the defense could have asked about. But this goes back again that Lori wanted her speedy trial, and they didn't have as much time to prepare on the voluminous discovery. So Lori, obviously, all this, to me, I'm going to keep saying it, I believe Lori's taking the stand, y'all. At some point, she's going to take the stand, and she's going to say some of the same things that Zulema and Melanie Gibb, and I'm sure other cult members will say as well, that they just really trusted. Lori's going to say, I really trusted Chad. I believed him. And the jury's already heard this from other cult members, so it won't be a stretch for them to say, wow, they all believed it. But it's still not going to get Lori out of trouble. And guess what, y'all? Zulema steps down from the stand and leaves the courtroom with her attorney, Garrett Smith. The next witness, y'all, that's called to the stand is Kobe Ryan, Lori Vallow Daybell's son. Here's a picture from Nate Eaton of Kobe showing up at the courthouse today. Y'all, he's going on the stand right now. Could this mean also that they will play that audio recording, y'all? We've been waiting on this. This is going to be good, y'all, because if there is an audio message, the bottom line is we're going to hear about it. And we'll hear about it in the audio tonight. Oh, man, I am so ready, y'all. Heather Strock said, I knew it. Artie and AC says, wee. Karen Holland says, poor Kobe. Renee says, I told y'all. Julie Thompson says, yuppers on top of watching their parents walk around. I hate it when these things move. Around new, want to mess kids up from the jump. Y'all, Kathleen Curtis is saying, Kobe, be strong, Kobe, says Soraya King. Y'all, Kobe Ryan is on the stand next, y'all. This is going to be so good. Bless Kobe's heart. God be with him, says Deanna. Poor Kobe has to look at his mother, says Alex X. Oh, wow, y'all. What is his testimony going to be? All right, y'all. Kobe's on the stand. He's wearing a white dress shirt and tie. Lori is staring at him. I have not seen him look at his mom. Rob Wood asks Kobe, how do you know the defendant, Lori Vallow? And Kobe responds, she's my mother. Y'all, this is incredible. We're fixing to hear it, y'all. Wow. Lego person is asking, was Kobe rated light or dark? Kresha, could you answer that, or any of the Rays on here? I don't recall. Soraya King says, don't be manipulated by your mom, Kobe. If there are questions in here, y'all, that I can't get at, I apologize. I'm trying to stay on top of this. I am trying to read them. But please, the Rays on here, if y'all see questions and you know the answers, Please put them in the comments for these people, please. Little Lady Di says, my heart is breaking for Kobe. Oh, Lord. Kresha K says, try and put yourself in his shoes. I hold empathy and compassion for my aunt who murdered my family. I'm better than them people, says Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. S. Holstein says, Kobe has been put through hell by Lori. Y'all, that audio, there's so much more that we're going to hear tonight on the audio. Wood shows the court a photo of Tylee Ryan. He asked Kobe, who is that? And Kobe, through his tears, y'all, Kobe's crying, says, that's my sister. Wood shows the court a photo of J.J. Bello. Y'all, Kobe says, that's my brother. Kobe is sniffling and just briefly glanced at his mom. Y'all, this is so heartbreaking. Wood asked Kobe about the day Charles Vallow died. Kobe says Lori called him at work and said Charles died of a heart attack. Imagine that, y'all. To have a mother who would lie to you like that. She is so evil and diabolical. She didn't deserve those children. And she screwed their lives up. Just makes me angry. You know, it was Rob Wood, y'all, that said to Summer Shiflett that Kobe had lost the most. And I don't, that's an opinion. I believe Kay lost her brother and her grandson and Tylee. But I get it why Wood would have said that. I think Krish has lost a lot. Her uncle, her nephew. The day Charles died, Kobe went home and Tylee greeted him. Alex was sitting on the couch watching TV and had a bandage on his hand. Kobe asked Alex what happened, and Alex said he had been hit with a bat, and then she shot Charles. Now, I don't know if that's a typo, y'all. I'm assuming that Nadine wanted to say, and then he shot Charles. That night, he said Lori's demeanor was calm. I wouldn't be surprised if Lori shot Charles, but I think that was a typo, y'all. I'm waiting for a refresh, y'all. This is Kobe Ryan's testimony on direct. He is in tears. He's emotional. This has got to be tough for him. I haven't heard any updates on whether he's gotten himself any help and whether him and Kelsey are still legally married, whether they're getting back together. I haven't heard anything about that. It's sad. Lori was so toxic that she did everything in her power to make everyone else miserable around her. And children, they're forming their identities, they're growing in their brains and everything. And through the years, Lori did all these things. It probably did a lot of damage. I would say anyone even living in Lori's household needs serious therapy. Of course, at least 3 of the people that live with Lori ended up murdered. A few weeks after Charles died, Kobe said his mom told him that she wasn't receiving any life insurance money. Kobe says he spoke with his mom monthly or every other month about their finances. Lori often told him they were out of money. Imagine that. Well, Lori can go on a street corner and spread her legs and have people throw nickels at it. She can go get a damn job. She can work at Supercuts. The freaking mooch. Okie dokie says Lori wasn't satisfied with damaging children. I'm waiting for this damaging children. She had them murdered. The damage from this single individual is beyond words, says Okie dokie. Supercuts, Rowan to you. Lori wasn't going to work. She's going to be a walking around, basically a prostitute concubine. These are my opinions. I'm not saying people on here should agree with that or anything like that. Y'all know how I roll on this. I have absolutely no sympathy for any of these cult members, and I especially don't for Lori and Chad. They murdered these people. They thought they could get away with it. Actually, it's been quite humane that they are in jail cells and have been in jail cells. Lori's been in a jail cell since what? End of February, March of 2020. And Chad's been in jail since June of 2020. They get 3 square meals a day. They get their medical. They get, they got a roof over their head. And most importantly, they're safe from the people out here that want to take them down, basically. Wood asked Kobe if he's ever received money from Tylee, and Kobe says he did, randomly through Venmo. Kobe says Lori would often send money to Tylee, who would then send it to Kobe. So this was a routine, I'm assuming. And this, obviously, y'all, is going to lead into Lori didn't want Kobe to know anything was different. Tylee'd already been murdered, but Lori sent that Venmo, even talking about Tylee being alive still. This again goes to conspiracy, premeditation, and just knowing that she knew that Tylee was murdered. She knew where Tylee was. And then doing this, it's sick, it's twisted. And I just, I hope that someone if she does go to Pocatello prison, I hope they know what Lori's done, so that they can give her a warm welcome, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Illegally Blonde says consciousness of guilt right there. Couldn't said it better. Yeah, for those just joining in, the audio will be released of the whole proceedings today. This channel has been open to the Rays on here. They've stuck with me for over 2 years. We do this also priority-wise for the victims and the victims' family members. We all want to get justice through understanding on here. These are blow-by-blow tweets by Nate Eaton. It would usually have Justin here, but he had to go back to Arizona. All right. Wood asked Kobe about the night of September the 8th of 2019, y'all. Y'all know this is the last time Tylee was seen alive. Kobe asked Tylee for money, and Tylee responded that she was no longer in control of the money, but her mom was handling it. Kobe says he spoke with Lori that day. He heard Tylee over the phone, and Lori said they were at the Yellowstone National Park gift store. So all of these theories and hypotheses from the Rays on here, where Lori, of course, we knew the evidence of her taking the Chase business account and putting it in Lori's account. This confirms that Tylee was probably pretty pissed off that her mom was controlling the money. I'm sure in the past, if Tylee wanted the money, she could get at it. And now Lori's got to hold on to it so that she can, continue to be the queen in this cult. We didn't know that Kobe was on the phone with Tylee at the Yellowstone National Park gift store. And just think of it like this. If Tylee had gotten something at that gift shop, if JJ had gotten something at that gift shop, it was probably one of the last purchases that they ever got before they were murdered. It's, we thought that they left Yellowstone, went to that barbecue place. Before they left, they went into this gift shop. I'm assuming that through law enforcement's investigation, maybe Kobe told them this. Maybe there was no video surveillance of that Yellowstone National Park gift shop. Maybe there is. Wouldn't matter anyway, y'all. We can't see the video. Kobe says he was contacted by Gilbert police on November the 27th of 2019. That was the day after the welfare check, and it was also the same day that the police were able to get the search warrant to search the apartments. They asked where JJ and Tylee were. Kobe said they were not with him, and Kobe had been concerned about his sister. He text messaged his text messages with Tylee were in a different language than how Tylee would talk and type. And this goes back to Lori letting Summer know, "Oh, happy birthday, Summy," from Tylee's phone. Lori is a sick, twisted woman, disgusting in every way. And I'm sure Kobe knew how Tylee would do her text messages. There have been many times in the crime genre, y'all, that we've heard of cases where somebody got a hold of the phone and the loved ones would say, "This doesn't sound like them at all. This is Kobe Ryan," letting everyone know that this was not Tylee texting him on November the 27th of 2019. And in fact, if you really put this in perspective, the bottom line is on the 26th was when Lori and Alex hauled ass out of there. So I am assuming, this is common sense, that the day after the welfare check, Chad and Lori's on the road to go to California, to hop a plane to go to Hawaii. And Lori's probably sitting in the seat, texting Kobe, pretending to be Tylee. It was just different, says Kobe. He felt like it wasn't Tylee he was speaking with. Kobe says after September of 2019, he continued to receive money from 2 different accounts registered to his mother. So Lori had to make sure, don't you know? She had to make sure that everything looked like Tylee was still alive. Obviously, she was still giving money to Kobe. Don't y'all find it interesting that she didn't want to murder Kobe, and she was willing to share money with Kobe, but she wants to murder her daughter and son for money? It's sad, really. It's pathetic. Kobe says after Charles died, in my view murdered, he was murdered, his mom said she was going to get married again. After Gilbert police visited in November of 2019, Kobe called his mom and asked what was going on. Why were the police looking for the kids? Kobe says he did not know where his mom was, but he knew she had moved from Phoenix. She never told him where she moved, and Lori would not tell Kobe. She just told me she was moving somewhere cold and it was dangerous for her to tell anybody where she had gone. And yes, it was. It was very dangerous for Lori to tell anyone where she's gone, because she just left Arizona murdering Charles Vallow. She knew damn well Kay Woodcock was not going to let up, not only on the murder of her brother, but also Kay and Larry Woodcock were not going to give it up on their grandparenting of J.J. Vallow. Lori thought she could run away from all of this. It all absolutely came back to bite her on her messed up ass. And besides that, y'all, she didn't want anyone to know where she was moving, because I believe they had already premeditated plans to off JJ and Tylee. And JJ and Tylee had not really made too many friends yet. Tylee and JJ, I know JJ was enrolled in school, but Lori had to do that in order for the benefits to continue to be delved out. Lori obviously needed to suck the titty of the government in order to fund her cult lifestyle with Chad Daybell. And, the bottom line is no one knew Lori, much less her children in Rexburg. And it just seemed like a good opportune time for Lori to shed her old life. Instead of giving JJ back to the grandparents, or letting Tylee come live with Kobe or Summer or Janice, she just decided she's going to murder them. Kobe tried to contact his mom on Thanksgiving, but her phone was disconnected. He was not able to reach her. Wood has no further questions. Jim Archibald will cross-examine Kobe Ryan after the break. Now, this is interesting because Thomas has taken the lead on all the cross-examination, but Jim Archibald's going to cross-examine Kobe Ryan. As the jury was leaving the courtroom, Kobe glanced over at his mother, shook his head, and then turned away. Let me repeat that. Kobe glanced over at Lori, shook his head, and then turned away. It's incredible. It's incredible, is it not? That he's got a mother who would murder his siblings, who would lie to him, who would use them. It's incredible, y'all. But this is, again, y'all, there is going to be a break. So if y'all don't mind, just give me a second. I'm going to grab me a couple of chips. I'm getting a little hungry here. Give me a second. If y'all hear me crunching on here, I apologize, but I gotta eat something. You know how you get when your belly needs something in it, you know. Heather Strock says, so proud of Kobe. Didn't Kobe somehow end up with a car that Lori was using way after he knew there was so much going on? Yeah, Gil Van, I guess that's, Gil Van, I don't know how to say the last part. Yes, she gave him that car. And many on this channel hypothesized she was trying to hide the evidence. They did find stuff, I think, on the seatbelt or something in the back seat with DNA on it or something. So, anyway, we're in a break. Jerry Harris says, I think Tylee was... Come on, let's grow up. Murdered also because she was the daughter of Joe Ryan and she hated Joe. Tylee was a reminder of Joe. Jerry Harris, I think that Tylee was murdered for her money, but I also believe that Lori knew every time she looked at Tylee, she understood that, you know, I'm sure that Joe Ryan thing is true, but she knew all of the toxicity and things that she'd done to Tylee. She damaged Tylee ever since she was a little girl. And for Lori to move forward and say, I am this divine queen of the 144,000, she doesn't need those reminders, don't you know? She could look at Tylee and say, I had Tylee believe in all this about her father. I kept her away from her father. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying not to eat. I just needed a little bit on my stomach. You think so, Kathy Barella? Lori poisoned Tylee? Oh, well, I thought she meant like literally poisoned. She absolutely, I think, verbally, abusively poisoned them. Yes. I believe that, Eric. I believe that 100%. Tylee had all the puzzle pieces needed to put Lori in jail for the rest of her life. That's why she had to go. I believe that. Roxy says the children were an inconvenience for Lori. Paisley Dream says Lori protected Tylee right up till she killed her. Oh, Lord. Tylee was ready to move out. She was the babysitter too, says Illegally Blonde. That's a good point. Do you think Summer was becoming a member with Dumb and Dumber? I know that Summer Shiflett went to at least one of those conferences to be supportive of her sister Lori. She also was in a text message confirming that, Lori, yes, I know you're on a mission, and I'm here to be supportive of you and all this. The bottom line is I don't trust anyone in the Cox family. I just don't. But who am I anyway? I'm just some old country girl from Tennessee. These are my views. I don't believe any of them. Barry, Summer, Janice, Adam, Zach Cox. You know, maybe Zach Cox is a little different because he's younger. But, and Zach Cox was not raised in the immediate home, I'm assuming. Yeah, I believe that, VC. Tylee knew who killed Charles and could hang that over Alex and Lori's head. I believe that. For those asking about the audio of today's court hearing, Tina Reddington makes it clear it will be released after court. We, as the Rays and I get on here, we're just going blow by blow with Nate Eaton. I didn't want to go do this by myself. I owe it to the Rays on here to take this time. They took all that time to coming and helping me out, educating me over these 2 years. So I want to be there for them. Kelly Cantrell says all Kobe has is the Cox family. It's sad. And I thought it was interesting that when they did that Netflix thing with Janice and Kobe, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like their side of things. Teresa Moore, we knew that for a while. You're welcome, Ken Nix. We knew that for a while that Lori had given that car to Kobe. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, they impounded that car from Kobe. He had to go out there and get his car seats of his kids out. They did some tests on it, found some DNA in there. Yeah, K-Tech, me too. Janice especially burns my butt. Yeah, old lady Snoop, Lori probably wanted Tylee gone because she was coming of age. And you know what? Lori had probably spent almost all of Tylee's survivor benefits from Joe Ryan, or was spending it and lying probably to Tylee about, I'm saving money. You know, you can't have some of this money, Tylee, because we got to save it for when, you go to college or whatever. But Lori was probably spending every bit of it. She knew that. She was running up against that too. Tylee was murdered at 16, but she was going on 17. And it wouldn't have been long that would have been something right there. But that wasn't the main thing. The main thing was, I really believe Tylee knew the deal. I do. Ashley says that Tylee was very sick as a child, and maybe this was Lori, that I can't pronounce that Munchausen's or whatever. Lori always made Tylee feel like something was wrong with her. I believe that. Oh, Psychology Secrets. We're glad you're here. Maybe you can share your perspective and knowledge with all of us. Nate Eaton said Zulema was granted immunity. What if she helped kill her husband? A lot of people seem to think that Zulema was told by Chad and Lori to do him in. I don't have any evidence of that, just like I don't have any evidence that Alex committed suicide. That's just what I think. And the only reason I say that is because of Chad's blessing. It just seemed like last rites. Why are you crying over stuff? If this is supposed to be something, a new chapter of his life or whatever, I think Alex, I don't believe for one second that Alex just died coincidentally the day after Tammy Daybell was exhumed. Yeah, I believe it. I believe Tylee probably called her mother and Chad out on their bullcrap. And guess what? Chad and Lori, they were in deep with old Mel there. And we all know how Tylee felt about Melanie Gibb. You think she felt any better about Zuzu? I don't think so. Again, y'all, if y'all hear me crunching, I'm not trying to be rude, but I've got to eat something or my mind's not going to be clear. Angel Donmeyer says Kelsey, which is Kobe's wife, and Lori never got along. Lori hated sharing Kobe. And I'm sure Lori was jealous. Lori was jealous of any woman. Lori was jealous. Lori would have been jealous of all the women on here. Lori couldn't stand she just couldn't stand anybody. She was jealous. It had to be 100% attention or she was jealous of any distractions. Okay, y'all. Lori is not wearing leg shackles today. She was able to walk out of the courtroom with a belly for a break. Y'all think Lori had to go to the toilet there? Is she going to have one of them holy craps? For this woman who thinks she's a translated being? Now, I don't understand that. Why wouldn't Lori be wearing leg shackles today? She needs to be wearing them. She's a disgusting, evil serial killer. That's what she is. Yeah, you're right, KMI. There is too much information being left out of this trial. If you're talking about me speaking on here, I can only read off what Nate Eaton tweets. So yes, if I'm reading off these tweets, a lot of information is being left out. That's why the audio should be released later on this evening, and it should give you more context. I feel Kobe will seek a higher level in his upcoming future, says Kathleen Curtis. And Krisha K. Easton speaking, saying, this is why I do research. We're in a break, y'all, so I bet Lori was jealous of Melanie Gibbs' fresh hair color job. K-Tech. Oh, really, Pam Key? Somebody said Kobe is divorced now from Kelsey. Well, that means child support. I feel bad for Kobe. He loved Tylee and JJ, says Moose Girl 08. Wonder if any of the Kobe's testimony, was he looking at Lori's face? Eric, I think Letitia Stodge could take Lori. I think that woman is psychopathic. Someone needs to beat her ass too. I think Lori and Letitia Stomps need to get their butts stomped. Angel Donmeyer says, I feel Kobe knew more about Charles, especially since he helped her clean out the house in Texas. Well, Lori had everybody believing that Charles was committing adultery on her and all this other stuff. She had people believing that Charles was off in Texas getting, I guess, exorcised from demons through some kind of professional service. The bottom line, it was Lori all along who was doing all the bad stuff. Charles didn't do anything wrong. And I believe every word Charles Vallow says when he told Lori in the text message, I have never, ever been unfaithful to you. Not ever since day one. I believe it. He was a good man. He come from a good family. Still waiting for them to all come back. Yeah, right, Crush Case Easton. She had people believing her children were zombies. If you can believe that kind of crap, you'll believe anything. Majette, that is the testimony. She told Kobe that Charles had a heart attack. Hell, man, she told JJ that Charles was still alive, but she tells the school that Charles committed suicide. I mean, this woman couldn't keep her damn story straight. I do too, Kate Sullivan Studios. Charles Vallow was a good man. Nate said when the attorneys went to talk with the bailiff, Lori was left at the table shackled to the ground. And that's correct. That's what he said. But now he says she's not wearing shackles today. So I'm assuming when they have to leave her alone at the table, that they've got to do something. So they probably put them on briefly. I am assuming that Archibald or Thomas have said, this doesn't look good with her wearing shackles. The jurors shouldn't be seeing her like that. Well, she needs to get used to it. Right. That was in the documentation of Ian's document. If you can think about it, then it can be real. Was part of their doctrine. Crusher K. Easton points this out. Well, the bottom line is all the things they said they were. How could you prove that? If say for instance, Sue Lemon says, I asked Chad to get rid of the evil spirits because my shoulder was hurting. And then she talks herself into believing her shoulder feels better. Placebo effect, however you want to look at it. The bottom line is these were things they were saying about themselves. So either they were faking it until they could make it, or they just actually just decided that was going to be their reality. Cindy says Charles was a good man, husband, father, and provider. I agree with that. L.E. Thacker says, I think Lori murdered JJ for retaliation. She knows Kay and her husband love JJ, and when she found out about the life insurance, she was battered hell. Ellie, I believe that, but I also believe the major reason was just to get his money. That's really what it comes down to. She would have continued to get those benefits for as long as she could. I am assuming that when she was continuing to get those benefits for JJ, the government believed he was still enrolled in that school, or that he was being homeschooled or something. Her time would have been up on that, but eventually, you know, she would have either had to continue to lie to them on paperwork, but, you know, she'd have shit herself if the government would have said, well, we've been giving JJ these benefits for a while, now we need you to bring him in, or we need you to send him to a doctor's appointment or something. Okay, Kobe is back on the stand while we wait for the judge and jury to enter the courtroom. Lori is looking at him, but he either looks straight ahead or down. She ruined so many people's lives for nothing. She destroyed lives. And now her life isn't worth nothing more than whatever the taxpayers of Idaho are going to have to pay to keep her in prison. So Kobe is still sitting on the stand, y'all, waiting for the judge. He won't look at Lori. I don't blame him. I want to hear this audio, y'all. I don't understand why they want to admit those audio calls of Kobe and Summer, and I want to hear what is being said. Because let me tell you, this is my opinion. I've been wrong plenty of times. If they do play it, Lori's going to beat around the bush the whole time and say stuff like, instead of answering the question to Kobe, she's going to say something to the effect of, well, you just got to have faith, and or you don't understand, you know, there's just a bigger mission or bigger divine thing going on, Kobe, that you can even understand. She's going to say anything but why she murdered Kobe's sister and brother. She's never going to come clean on it. She never will. Even if she gets on the stand, she's not going to ever really come out and tell anyone anything. Attorneys for both sides headed back to meet with the judge privately. Kobe remains on the stand. His mom remains at the defense table alone. So, y'all, this could be possibly that the judge needs to meet with the attorneys over maybe possibly this exhibit of Kobe having an audio call with Lori, or I think it was a video call. So again, y'all, the attorneys on both sides are headed back to meet with the judge. And we're just waiting for everything to continue to move forward. Thank y'all for being patient with OKJ. Thank y'all for going through this with me. This isn't exactly, you know, what we all wanted. We wanted to see cameras in the courtroom, but this is what we have. If you think about this and how we're doing this, and then you think about the audio being released later, it does help to kind of hit those points from Nate Eaton. I think he's doing a great job. No, I don't think Lori's asking to leave the courtroom again. I think this has to do with how they're going to proceed forward, possibly with this exhibit. Maybe Archie and Thomas do not want it played, or maybe we know that when Archie comes back in here, this will be the first person that Archibald has cross-examined. So I don't understand that, but because Thomas has done the heavy lifting. While we wait, says Nate Eaton, Lori is staring at Kobe on the stand. He refuses to make eye contact. Now she is writing in her notebook. And you know, this sick, twisted woman, she probably thinks if she can meet eyes with her son, that somehow she can let him know, oh, Kobe, yeah, Mama, I'm the lowercase g Mama, Kobe. Don't be mad at me anymore, Kobe. Give me a break, y'all. This woman thinks she's got some kind of insight. She's a nut job. That's what she is. Yeah, RD and AC, Nate Eaton said at the beginning she was shackled, and now he's saying she's not. Now, maybe he thought she was when he first went in there. She writes in her notebook because she gives her something to do instead of looking at her son. Archie better go easy on Kobe. He's been through enough. She's probably writing some voodoo crap to try and get her son, says Becca Good. Only on break does she get released from the floor, says Michelle L. Private 91 says, which? Well, thank you, Alice X. Glad you're here. Glad all of y'all are here. Oh, no, y'all. How about this? Lori pulled several tissues from a box of Kleenex and appears to be crying or wiping her eyes. It's hard to see from my vantage point as her back is toward the gallery. Kobe still has not looked at his mom for several minutes. She absolutely destroyed him. And now she wants to cry. You know why she wants to cry, y'all? Because she don't get the damn attention from her son like she used to. And she's crying because she has to accept that he knows all about her evil, diabolical ways. That's why she's crying. She's crying for herself. Aggravating. That woman, she didn't cry a damn tear anytime after murdering those precious children. Now she wants to do it now. C-Peep says, don't give her the time of day, Kobe. Legally Blonde says, yep, she knows he can't stand her. She's doing everything in her class power to get him to look at her, says Kate Sullivan Studios. I believe that. Yes, she's crying for herself, says Rachel or Rochelle. I hate her guts, says Mary R. Dee Dee says she's pulling an Alex Murdaugh. Oh, yeah, Dee Dee. Except Lori, she's in a totally different level of evil and diabolical. You know how I know? Alex Murdaugh is a diabolical, evil, murdering SOB. But she tried to use the name of Jesus Christ and Almighty God in the middle of all this. It's unconscionable. It's absolutely disturbing. All right, y'all. Attorneys have re-entered the courtroom. Lori is whispering with Jim Archibald as he prepares to cross-examine her son about the deaths of his siblings and stepdad. Wonder what she's probably saying. Wonder what she knows that Kobe knows. And I'm not trying to say that Kobe knew anything about any of this until it was laid in his lap. I'm just saying she was acting crazy with everybody. We are waiting for Archie to cross-examine Kobe. Hi, Julie Cole. Charles was a good role model for all those kids, says Kathy Barella. I believe that 110%. She was not happy when Kobe got married, said Mohawk Mom. The Betty Boop says, Lori's saying, direct Kobe to look at me and identify me. Fish face 123 ism. You know, that wouldn't surprise me if Lori told Archie to do that. She just wants him to look at her. He don't have to. He can like she's over there, he can just point over there and not look her straight in the face and say, it's that woman sitting over there at the defense table. Earlier I said Lori may be crying or wiping her face. Chanley Painter, y'all, and Chanley Painter is with Court TV. With Court TV is on the other side of the courtroom, the better angle of Lori's face, and tells me she did not see any tears. So maybe Lori's faking it, trying to get distract Kobe and get Kobe to feel sorry for her. That's what I think. I agree with that, Kathleen Curtis. Narcissists hate being ignored. And that is what Lori is the queen of. Lori is the queen of the narcissists. Lori, the leader of the whack pack, says Andrew F. Let's have a look at the tissue, RDNAC says. Liza Joe, that is an interesting question. You might want to present that one to Cresha. She has more information on all of this stuff, that particular subject. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Mohawk Mom, I'm eating these little corn nugget things. They're fried and they're hard as a rock. I apologize. But I'm a fried food person. I got to, get my fried food in. It's just a piece of whole kernel corn that's been put, it's got like a kind of a thin breading on it, and you deep fry it. And if you hear me crunching, I apologize, y'all. Again, I'm going to be here till lunch. We'll take a lunch break, and then we'll be back for the afternoon. So I'm kind of stuck here in this stationary position. I guess I could have said, excuse me, y'all, grabbed my stuff, went in the room, gobbled it down real quick and come back, but I don't want to miss anything, and I love being with all of y'all. Just please put up with my crunch and munch stuff going on here. I'll try not to do it too much. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? This stuff's addictive, so I'm going to put it over here, away from me. If it's not sitting in front of me, then I'll be all right, but, lunchtime rolls around. Okay, Jay's going to be fixing her something good. Okay, here we go, y'all. Jurors are back in the courtroom. Archibald begins his cross-examination. Grammy B. This is actually, Grammy B, this is not KJ's channel. This is the Ray's channel. KJ's just here to facilitate. The Ray's on here, been with me for 2 years. I think the world of them. I'm glad they're here. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. Thank all of y'all for being here. I'm trying my best not to leave too much blank air. I'm a blabbermouth anyway. But this is what we got, y'all. This is what we got. Waiting on Nate Eaton to tweet something else. Amen, DD. Ray, for those that y'all don't know, is Ray stands for research analysis, and you. If you want to be a Ray, you can be a Ray if you consider yourself a Ray. And guess what? We don't even define it. It's just research analysis and you. You get to decide what that means for you, because you are the only you you're ever going to be. And you shouldn't have to embrace or take up any other body's definition of something that could be so personal for you. Y'all all have your reasons for following this case. And no reason that you do is wrong at all. Okay, here we go, y'all. Archibald asks Kobe who his dad is. He says William LaGoya, but explains his stepdads were Joseph Ryan and Charles Vallow. Archibald asks if Lori Daybell has ever met Kobe's two kids. Kobe says she met his oldest child, but not the youngest. So maybe Lori wanted her attorney to ask about the grandkids. I guess really the question is why would she care what happened to her grandkids? She can't even keep her own damn kids alive. Is Tylee gonna have grandchildren? Huh? That woman is disgusting. Disgusting. Archie asks if Kobe's childhood with Joe Ryan and Lori was good or bad, and Kobe responds, bad. Archibald asks if his stepfather abused him. Rob Wood immediately objects and asks for a sidebar with the judge. Attorneys meet with the judge as white noise plays in the courtroom, and that is irrelevant. Whether Lori convinced Kobe that he'd been sexually molested by Joe Ryan is a crock of shit, first of all, in my opinion. But second of all, it's got a damn thing to do. Nothing to do with the fact that Lori murdered JJ and Tylee. That's right, Cindy Kay. They're asking questions. Archie's asking a question. And you know what? He damn well knows. Archibald knows that this is a very, very sensitive issue for Kobe Ryan. And he's trying his best to knock Kobe off balance, in my opinion. This ain't got shit to do with Lori murdering those children. The judge is back on the bench and grants the objection. So Rob Wood objected to it. He grants it. He tells the jury to ignore the question about abuse. Just like I said, and many on here, ain't got a damn thing to do with this damn trial. Archibald asked Kobe if his mother protected him from Joe Ryan, and Kobe says yes. And Archibald asked if she protected Kobe by moving away and divorcing Joe, and Kobe says yes. The bottom line is Lori made all that shit up, in my view. I'm not saying Joseph Ryan maybe he was verbally abusive. He could have been physically, but I don't believe that Joseph Ryan was a pedophile. I just don't. She wanted to divorce Joe Ryan because he done everything he's going to do for her. She wants to go on to someone else. As soon as if she would have won that Mrs. Texas pageant, she'd have sucked on old Joe Ryan for even more to give her more money so she could go into more pageants. But when she lost it, it bummed her out. And I'm not saying that's the whole reason she left Joe Ryan. I'm just saying she wanted something different. Kobe says Charles Vallow had a good relationship with him. Kobe says he had a good relationship with JJ and Tylee. Archibald asked if Tylee had health issues, and Kobe says she had pancreatitis and often had to go to the hospital. Archibald asked about JJ's special needs, and asked if Lori cared for the needs of Kobe, Tylee, and JJ, and Kobe says yes. And this goes back to before she started getting on into all this crazy stuff. They said she was a good mother and all this. Well, what the hell else could she be? She had the children. She needed to take care of them. So Archibald wants the jurors to know that Lori at one time wanted to keep Kobe safe from Joe Ryan. Well, I'll tell you what, Archie. Why don't you ask Miss Hussey there? Did she want to keep Tylee and JJ safe from Chad Daybell? Huh? Huh? Did Lori keep Tylee and JJ safe? No, she didn't. The only safe she knew about was keeping them safely concealed in Chad's backyard so their asses wouldn't be thrown in prison. And another thing, Archibald wants the jury to know that Lori took care of Tylee and JJ and him. Well, did Lori take good care of JJ and Tylee by allowing them to live? And did Lori use the benefit money that was allotted for JJ and Tylee and all that? Did she use that toward their care once she decided to murder them? And then when she did murder them, it's so disgusting. It really is. I don't know what he's trying to prove here. Other than to say that maybe he's trying to say she did this change or whatever. Archibald asked, did your mother encourage Tylee to do good things with her life? And Kobe responds, I don't know. So Archie wants to ask if Lori encouraged Tylee to do good things with her life. Why would she do that? She sure, the only thing good that Lori saw in Tylee's life was taking her life away, having her murdered, chopping her body up, burning it, scraping it up into a melted green bucket, and putting it in a pet cemetery. Lori sure did, didn't she? This is me being facetious. Lori wanted Tylee to have a good life. Give me a break. Give me a break. Archibald questions Kobe about his education and mission to Nampa, Idaho. Kobe says his mission lasted 6 weeks at the most. Archibald asks if Kobe actually made it to Nampa or was just in training. Wood objects to the question and Boyce sustains. I don't know where he's trying to go with that, but Rob Wood does not want that question asked. I don't think it's relevant, really. When we're talking about his education and mission, I'm assuming this has to do with when you're in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that you go on a mission at a certain age, but then Archie's trying to infer that he didn't actually go on his mission. He was just in training to go on his mission. And what the hell's that got to do with anything? I agree with that Mohawk mom. Tylee was more of a mother to JJ than Lori was their last year. I agree with that. Y'all have got a lot of these answers on this as far as I'm concerned. Now, how about this, y'all? Archibald asked Kobe, did his mother teach him about Jesus? He says yes. And Archibald asks if they sang songs about Jesus. And Kobe says yes at church. Archibald asks if his mom taught him about multiple lives or probations, or if he was someone else in another life, and Kobe says no. Now I would have absolutely fell out of my chair if he would have said, yeah, mom was teaching me that there were different lives, but no, he is confirming that these things about multiple probations and multiple lives was not taught to him but she did teach him about Jesus. I don't know if what she taught Kobe was really about Jesus Christ, Almighty God, Jesus from Nazareth, the one who died on the cross for my sins, who was buried, who was resurrected, sits at the right hand of God, will come back one day. So I don't know if this is the same Jesus, because obviously if Lori really had Jesus in her life, she'd have done none of this. She would have never believed any of it. Kobe says his mom never taught him about zombies, casting out evil spirits, or dark and light scales. When asked about vibrations, Kobe says his mom said that they were the same vibration. Archibald asked if his mom ever taught Kobe that she was a goddess, and Kobe says no. He says his mom never taught that he should join a new church called the Church of the Firstborn. And why would she want her son that she loves so much to join the Church of the Firstborn? Kobe is not one of the 144,000. You know why? Because Lori was shedding every bit of her life. She wanted a new existence with Chad. It was all about Chadness Johnson. It was about Lori being exalted and all these new people, her new friends, her new cult members. They're all worshiping her, and they're lying through their damn teeth about every time they use the word Jesus Christ. Just put that in perspective. If this damn hussy really believed that this was the Church of the Firstborn, 144,000, wouldn't she want to include her son, Kobe Ryan, and her other kids for that fact? It's just absolutely stupid. No, Sweet Susie, this is cross-examination from the defense. The state is probably going to be laying out their case for another couple of weeks. But the defense does get to cross-examine, and I don't think that the defense will have much of a case when it becomes their turn to present anything other than to say, I believe Lori's going to take the stand. Kobe was not at home when Charles filed for divorce from Lori or when they reconciled. Kobe says his friendship with Alex Cox was minimal and described his uncle as odd. He was crude and kind of funny and odd, says Kobe, talking about Alex Cox. Kobe says he didn't see Alex a lot until he got married in 2018. Kobe moved out of his mom's house when he got married. Language of horses, I don't know if she's sitting in solitary. I know she's in a section where nobody can get at her, which I'm assuming that is probably solitary confinement, because they know that if she was put in there with these other women, they'd probably beat her ass. So Kobe is now giving testimony about his odd Uncle Alex. Archibald asked about the book Kobe wrote since this case started. He says the book is about how God has helped him through his life. Archibald asked about media appearances Kobe has made and asked if he was paid for his Netflix documentary, and Kobe says he was not. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't imagine Kobe's going to go on the stand and lie about that. I would have thought that Kobe Ryan would have been paid by Netflix to be part of their documentary. Kresha, if you're still in here, do you think that's true? That Kobe just decided to be part of a Netflix documentary and not get any money at all? That don't sound right to me. But, I can't believe that. I mean, Kobe's on the stand right now under oath saying he didn't get any money from the Netflix documentary. I don't believe that. But, you know, maybe that's true. In the docuseries on Netflix, Kobe says his mom changed when she met Chad Daybell. Archibald asked him about this line, and Kobe says he doesn't remember saying it, but he could have. Trust me, y'all. Lori's going to eventually go on the stand, and she's going to say that he brainwashed her. Archibald asked Kobe if he loved his mom. He says yes. Archibald asks if his mom loved him, and Kobe responds, I think so. I don't think she does. I don't think she loves Kobe at all, or she would have never murdered his brother and sister and lied to him. She don't give a shit about loving anybody. And she wasn't in love with Chad. All that was a bunch of horny, lustful crap. It's ridiculous. It's sad. I know Kobe's probably got to say that just in order to keep himself together. Archibald asked Kobe, who taught you God was good? And Kobe says, the church and my mom. Oh, okay. So Lori taught Kobe that God is good. Does that include murdering children and Tammy Daybell and Charles Vallow? I don't think so. It's pathetic. I don't even know how many times I could say that word pathetic. Oh, y'all. Lori is wiping her eyes with a tissue during this part of Kobe's testimony. Now, if she's crying or pretending to cry, what's that about? She's crying because she hears her son up there saying, I love my mother and I believe she loves me. The bottom line is she's crying for herself. It's all about Lori. And y'all make no mistake, the jury is watching her cry right now, or at least pretending to cry, or maybe she really is. It's pathetic. Not a single tear for her murdered children. It's all about her. She better get used to feeling sorry for herself, because she's going to be doing it the rest of her life in prison. Damn hussy. I have no sympathy for y'all. Not any at all. She didn't have sympathy or compassion for her children, for Tammy, for Charles. She wouldn't have shed a single tear had Alex actually hit the target on Brandon Boudreaux. But she'd have been right there to spend that damn money, don't you know? Archibald is reading parts of Kobe's book where he wrote about God helping him through obstacles and hardship. Kobe says those statements are accurate. Archibald has no further questions. Wood has more questions for Kobe, but asks for a 5-minute recess. And what do we need a 5-minute recess for, y'all? We've already had a break here just a little bit ago. Can't y'all just keep this shit going, please? That's what I'm hoping. So we got a 5-minute deal here, y'all. All right, Janelle Murphy. She didn't want to see the graphic photos of her dead children, and now she doesn't want to see her son up there. She's all getting emotional. Maybe she wants to excuse herself again. She can forget it. Forget it. That's right, Janelle Murphy. Charles had so many deaths. Let's see what that said. I'd say thank you, Archibald, for your patronage after. Says difficult research. That's what I said Cresha. Enjoy your speedy trial, hoe bag, says little Bronze. Hoe bag, hoe bag. She can show emotion, though, for her living child, but fell asleep while they were talking about the ones she killed. Good point there, CSI, crowdsourced eliminations. KJ, our weather here today is sleet and thunderstorms. Cold as hell. What is that Jerry Harris said? Sorry, Jerry Harris. Will be cold as hell for her. Can't wait for that, says Jerry Harris. Jennifer Esslinger says, barfy, hairless balls. Maybe the prosecution is going to play the Netflix or phone call video, says Curly Shirley. Well, that's a good idea. I have a sunburn and it's flipping snowing in Boise, y'all, says Cresha. But I thought she's used to the sun down there in Louisiana. Don't you want me down there in Louisiana, Cresha? Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. And I loved your uncle's video that you posted on your community wall of him singing and stuff. That was cool. Heather Strock says snowing in Pennsylvania was 85. I don't think they even know what their whole deal was, y'all. Honestly, I don't think Chad and Lori actually, every time they would tell these cult members along with themselves what the way things were, they'd change it. Now, during the break, Lori is smiling while she stands and chats with Archie and Thomas. Cubby remains on the stand. Most people stand to stretch their legs. Isn't that interesting, y'all? She's crying one minute and smiling the next. What an actress. A shitty actress, but she is one. She's fake. I bet when she had sex with her ex-husbands, she faked it with them too. Amari Cohen, yep, she is prophetic. She makes me sick. I'm sorry, Robert, okay? I can't help it. I'm stuck here at the desk. I know it's rude, but trust me, it's not going to last much longer. You know what I'm going to do now that you brought it up? It's making me all self-conscious. I'm going to move them out of the way where I can't reach them at all, okay? I'm just going to move them. I want y'all to see them. They're so good. All right. All right. Heck, I'm sipping my tea, says Mohawk Mom. It's okay, Jay Crutchon. Y'all, that was rude. I shouldn't have done it, but I didn't get breakfast this morning, and I should have eaten something, at least some toast or something. Okay, here we go. Prosecutors are back in the courtroom, and Wood will commence with redirect. Let's hope, y'all, they're going to play that audio. Yeah, I know, Tina Reddington, but I don't want to. Some people find that gross. Me, it's delicious. I don't want to do it. Y'all know I don't know crap about this stuff in terms of doing these lives and stuff like that. Y'all know I don't like doing those. I'm in my home, y'all. I'm in my home. This is not a show. This is This is in commemoration to the victims' family members. The fact that Crusher K. Easton or Difficult Research is on here makes me feel like $1 million. And of course, you know and I know the Rays have stuck by me, so I want to stick by y'all. So Wood is fixing to do another redirect on Kobe. Wood asked Kobe if his mom had ever asked him for anything since he moved out of her house. He said the only thing she asked for is to help them move. Wood asked if Lori controls Kobe's bank account. He says no. Kobe says at one point, Lori gave him Tylee's debit card so he could buy himself a birthday present. Kobe says his mom never asked him to come to special church meetings or participate in castings. Kobe says he learned from the news that his mom had moved in December of 2019. I don't know if even that's correct, because y'all remember Kobe remembers he went and he saw his mom, Tylee and JJ in the car. Tylee was crying and they took off. They had already moved, end of August? And now he's saying he didn't even know she moved till December of 2019? That don't line up. Right, Janelle Murphy? And that's really a good point if you think about it, y'all. Why? If Lori believed in this so much, she believed in this so much and really believed that she was going to be, her and Chad were going to be the Church of the Firstborn and all that, why she would leave Kobe out of that, I think she had a new life that she decided she wanted, and she didn't want Kobe and them to know, because they would have obviously said, Mom, something's wrong with you. Kobe says when he was a teenager, he had a conversation with his mom about her life insurance. Kobe says Tylee and JJ were alive, but Kobe was the only person listed as the beneficiary. Wood has no further questions, and Kobe Ryan is released from the stand. And again, y'all, I don't understand why they're not playing this audio of their jail phone call. It doesn't make sense to me that they're not playing it. It would seem that he would have been there like, yes, I did have this call with Mom and while she was in jail. It's frustrating. It's almost like all the things that we know, which are not rumors or speculation or theory. We're talking about empirical stuff. It's like they're leaving so much out of this. Who is going to go on the stand next, y'all? Y'all think another law enforcement official or... Yeah, I believe that. I believe Kobe could think for himself, and Lori knew. But I don't think you watched the Netflix documentary. I have the whole 3-part series if you want the link. Krisha, I'm not interested. I could have watched it. Unless it's anything, I mean, if Kay and Larry or you, or anything like that, I'm on it. But I didn't want to go there. I think Netflix tried to make some money off a terrible, tragic thing, along with some other people, like these lawyers that moved to Idaho just so they can write their books. Oh, y'all, here it is. Lori watches as Kobe Ryan leaves the courthouse, and Rob Wood, now asked to admit and play the jail phone call between Kobe and Lori that they had with each other, y'all. Kobe is out of the room, but he remains under subpoena and could be called back in if the defense has questions. Y'all, they're fixing to play it. Wonder what's going to be said, y'all. Kresha, can you believe this? They're going to play. This was, what was it? In 2020, August of 2020, I believe. Lori had been in jail going on about 6 months when Kobe and her were in an audio call. I don't know if it was video, but I know for sure they're fixing to play it, so you know you're going to hear it. Yes, CIM. Yes, yes, yes. Cindy K, maybe Kobe felt very uncomfortable being in there in the first place. Maybe he didn't want to hear his mother talk her crap. Yes, Elizabeth Ann, Lori has been so cruel to Kobe. Oh my goodness, Direbite PR, they're fixing to do the jail phone call between Lori and Kobe. Oh, Candace Parr's going to get some corn nuts on her break. Oh, Jerry Harris is sipping coffee and snacking. I think Kobe should be there to listen to it so Lori could see his face as it is playing. Janelle Murphy, I don't think Kobe wants to even look at his mother. I don't think he's at that place where he even wants to be around her. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. She took everything away from him. And since all this, oh, here it is, y'all. Y'all ready? Here it is. Hi, Kobe, Lori is heard saying. Can you hear me? Do you want to talk to me? And Kobe responds, do you think you can hide to me? And Lori says, she isn't hiding, but he didn't want to talk to her. And then Kobe says to his mother, probably because you murdered my siblings. Woo! Clap it. Get it, boy. So again, she says, hi, Kobe, can you hear me? Do you want to talk to me? And Kobe says, do you think you can hide that for me? And Lori says, I wasn't hiding. And he says, probably because you murdered my siblings. Oh my gosh. Y'all, get her, boy, says Eric. Oh, come on, y'all. Boyce interrupts the phone call and asks for a sidebar with attorneys. Why? Somebody tell me why. We've been waiting on this for so long. Jess says, yeah, go Kobe. Becca Good. Lori had Tylee, JJ, and Kobe. Then she had stepchildren. Charles Vallow had been married before he married Lori, and he had 2 sons with Sharon Wheeler. So, but in terms of her own children, Kobe and Tylee were her biological children, both by different fathers, and JJ was adopted in the family. Why does he have to do this sidebar? But hey, Kobe doesn't hold back. Before Boyce stopped the call, we heard Kobe tell his mom he had prayed for her and he trusted her. Lori says she didn't do anything. This call was made after the bodies were found buried on Chad Daybell's property. There it is, y'all. Lori's telling Kobe, I didn't do anything. Really, this is the mother of these children. I'll tell you something. This woman needs her ass stomped. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. Did y'all expect anything else? Did you expect Lori to say, oh, I'm sorry I got caught up in it? I didn't mean for the children to die. No, she says she didn't do anything. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that Lori Hussey Daybell is telling her son Kobe? Of course, she's lied to him a lot anyway. She says she didn't do anything. Well, in some ways that's true. She didn't do anything to stop the murders of her children. She didn't do anything to protect her children. She didn't do anything to, do what she could to keep them alive. Or she didn't do anything to seek out whether they'd been missing or not. If she wants to talk all this crap, which we knew and know now, she was in on this all along. There was a lot of things that she didn't do. But it sure wasn't that she didn't know that her children had been murdered and were gone. Give me a break. Right, the Betty Boop says it clearly. What's one more lie? This woman's a nut job. And I don't mean mentally insane either. There ain't a such thing. Come on, guys. Get your crap together, Judge. There shouldn't be no reason why. It's already been admitted into evidence. Oh, gosh. The white noise is turned off. Attorneys are back at their tables. And Kobe Ryan is being brought back into the courtroom. Boyce says upon hearing the beginning of the call, he wants Kobe on the stand as a witness. The defense may have questions after the call is played, so Kobe is walking back to the witness stand. And why did he leave in the first damn place? Does the state of Idaho not know that when they admit evidence of Kobe Ryan talking to his mother, and it's already in evidence, that it would be Kobe Ryan who would authenticate that? And say, yes, that's my voice. Yes, that's my hussy lying mother's voice. It's a waste of time. Kobe's back, y'all. Should have never left in the first place until they played it. He's on the stand, says Heather Strock. Hi, it's just Robbie. How you doing? Rhonda Henderson said the state just wanted to have their drama. Well, I'm going to tell you what. You think about the real victims in this. It isn't Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, Zulema, Melanie Pulaski, any of these cult members. They're not victims. I don't give a shit if they want to say they were fooled or that they were too trusted. They are not victims. Kobe is a victim. And think about Kay and Larry, Kresha, Charles's brother, Kresha's uncle, and all, Andy Cushion. All these people have got to go through this shit because this damn woman murdered her children. And Tammy and Charles. Wood starts the call from the beginning now that Kobe's on the stage. Crap. Wood starts the call from the beginning. Kobe says to Lori, I have prayed for you in my worst moments. I have prayed for my siblings who you swore to me were okay. I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person. And Lori says to Kobe, you've known me your whole life. He says, I don't know a murderous mother. Wha-bam! Slam down there. Kobe tells her, I don't know a murderous mother. I gotta say it again. I got to. Kobe says to Lori, I have prayed for you in my worst moments. I have prayed for my siblings who you swore to me were okay. I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person. And Lori says to Kobe, you've known me your whole life. And he says, I don't know a murderous mother. Can y'all believe this? Oh my gosh. Kresha, can you believe this? Yeah, that verse you said in Chad's train dream. Yeah, y'all can go on Kresha K. Easton, A Difficult Research. She's got one brilliant catalog. There's called The Train Dream on there that I narrated. Kresha's got some serious stuff going on her channel. Come on now. Let's see what else they've got to say. I'm waiting, y'all. No explanation, y'all. She's trying to say for her to say to him, you've known me your whole life. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think Kobe's off base at all. That she, in my opinion, y'all, she is possessed with a demon to do the shit she did. He said he couldn't recognize her. I remember him talking about that when he saw her, get arrested and the way she acted. He said, and then Kresha, y'all remember Kresha was talking about it. Talking about when she saw Lori come in the courtroom after being brought back from Hawaii, she's like, what the hell? Who is this woman? Why is she? This isn't who I thought she was. Is this it? Come on, update it, Nate. Surely there's got to be more here. And this evening, y'all, we're going to get the audio. Kobe to Lori. All right, y'all ready? He says, it kills me to watch you take the victim's route and say this shouldn't have happened to you when you were telling me that Chad Daybell came into your life and all of a sudden everything changes. And I'm talking about my spirit feels this. I prayed. I trusted you. I gave you every chance I could past my own limitations of a human being. I pushed back all of everything to try and get to you to help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count about this, to know that they're gone. And you knew. And my phone's being texted by my little sister, who is not even alive. My little brother, who is the sweetest little kid ever. You tell me this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepfather. To be dead after everything that you've tried to tell me, you can tell me right now. You can tell me that right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all the conviction of your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side right now. And then Lori says, please, I can tell you that. Give me a break. That Jesus Christ is on Lori's side. Oh, Jesus Christ wants Lori to murder children. Jesus Christ wanted Lori to make sure that JJ was all duct taped and put in garbage bags, jawline to jawline, bound by his feet and his hands, put in a backyard of that asshole's. And Jesus Christ is on Lori's side where Tylee has been murdered. God only knows how she was murdered. And y'all, make no mistake, there's a reason Chad Daybell talked about that Zulema was a 14-year-old girl that got raped, murdered, and chopped up. There's a good possibility. I'm not saying it happened, but don't you think a lot of this stuff runs into each other? And Lori Daybell, is the hussy, is sitting here telling her son, who's in pain, please, I can tell you that Jesus Christ is on her side. Oh, my Lord. Kobe is telling his mother that Jesus will judge his mom, and she begins to laugh, y'all. That right there, okay? She's laughing when Kobe says Jesus is going to judge you, like she's got some power over Jesus, or that she is exalted enough that this is just a joke, that Jesus would judge her. She is going to go straight to hell. He calls her out for laughing, and Lori says nobody was there. She says nobody understands, and Tylee and JJ know exactly what happened. And you know what? I'm sure JJ and Tylee knew exactly what was happening, as they probably were scared to death, saying, we're going to die. They love me, and they are fine, and they know the truth, and we are the only people that do. Lori says Kobe can judge her, and the whole world can judge her. That shows you how this woman is absolutely evil. Kobe's yelling at his mother to tell him that Jesus Christ told her to do these things. The kids are found buried in your new husband's backyard. Nate Eaton says, this is a very emotional call. Kobe is yelling at his mom, and she is pushing back that nobody understands. I don't think anybody can understand how beautiful little children can be murdered like this. It's ridiculous. I can't believe she's telling Kobe this, y'all. Kobe's telling her everything that all of us would want to say. Again, let me reemphasize that Lori says, they love me, talking about the kids, and they're fine, and they know the truth, and we're the only people that do. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And Cresha, if you're still on here, honey, could you imagine Kay and Larry, and I think your uncle's in there, I'm sure they're in there, and they're hearing this call? How this has got to be devastating. This has got to be devastating. And it's probably very devastating to Kobe, too. Kobe tells his mother to explain what is happening. She says she would love to tell him, and one day the truth will come out. My own mom, my siblings, my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except my mom, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father myself, Chad, down the rabbit hole. Why would you follow anyone who is not good? How can you follow someone who cannot lead you to salvation in Jesus? You can't lie to me anymore, Lori. You can't hide anymore, says Kobe. And he doesn't say Lori, but that's what I wanted to say. He tells his mother, you can't lie to me anymore. You can't hide anymore. Can y'all believe this? Grammy B dodging bullets, CHP. Can y'all believe this? Sabrina Holmes, CSI, Crowdsourced Illuminations, Elizabeth Ann, The Daily Book Dose, Paul Top, Barbin One. Can y'all believe that this is being said? Kobe tells his mom he prays that she will see Jesus Christ and fall into his grace. I pray every day, no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel, I pray for you. I pray for him. You ripped my heart out. You ripped everybody's heart out. I want to be in Idaho this week. You need to look me in the eye, Mom. Look me in the eye. Kobe noted earlier that Lori's camera's turned off and the call ends. We're going to hear it later on this evening, y'all. We're going to hear it. It does, Heather. It breaks my heart. Oh. Nate Eaton says, I'll play the entire call tonight on Courtroom Insider at 7:30 p.m. It is something. The defense and prosecution have no questions about the call, and Kobe is dismissed from the witness stand. And what kind of questions could they come up with? Either one of them. Kobe said it all. Kobe said it all to Lori. She confirms through the way she's acting that she knew. She knew. You know, this would be different if Lori was on there with Kobe going, Kobe, I really didn't know. I didn't know. I just believed Alex and Chad had taken the kids somewhere safe. Kobe, I had no idea. That's not what at all happened. For her to come out through Archie and say she didn't know before, she didn't know after, and she wasn't the principal in this is in legal documents, tells you everything you need to know, i.e., Lori Hussey Daybell is in the shitter, like she's always been. Smelling of it too. Yes, Stella F. She said her and the kids knew. Like, that's going to make Kobe feel better. I don't know. I honestly don't know what she meant by that. But if she's meaning that literally, that's sick. Did those children know they were fixing to be murdered? Surely she's not going to go on the stand and say, I had a talk with Tylee and JJ, and they knew they were going to be going to another planet, and so we just we rushed it along. No, there ain't no way. The jurors remained focused during the playing of the call. Court has taken an early lunch and will be back at 12:30 p.m. for a new witness, y'all. That is a lot to absorb. It is 11:36 Idaho time right now. They're going to be back at 12:30. So we'll see y'all in about an hour. I'm going to try to get something to eat so I don't keep crunching everything, y'all. Lori is screwed, and I'm so happy. I am. Let's get back together in about an hour. And I love you all. We'll get back together. Get you some lunch. Get some chores done. Go run an errand. Get things going. We're going to get back together in an hour. We're going to spend the afternoon. We don't know who the next witness is going to be. This has been Blockbuster. This has been Bombshell, y'all. I love y'all. See you in an hour now. Look at your watch. Let's get her going and keep on looking.